Nice that I have so huge audience and that people prefer to stand instead of sit down and take a sleep. So feel free to take a sleep. I wanted to do this presentation basically from 2017 because in 2016 Salesforce announced the collaboration with Google. It was a big announcement, and nobody wanted to select this session for the Dreamin events. So finally, this year it come to true, or how you say it, and I'm able to present you how huge collaboration with there is between Salesforce and Google. My name is Martin. I'm based in Prague, in Czech Republic, or Czechia, as we are officially renamed for last 8 years. Still don't remember that. I'm Salesforce Certified Technical Architect, and I'm at the moment Division Director at Actum Digital Czech Partners, doing job worldwide, Europe mainly. I divided the presentation into 3 different sessions, or maybe 3 different parts. The first one is the basic one, which basically anyone can start and be running. The second one is more advanced, and the third one is like, I have no clue, it's something for developers. So you will most likely need some cooperation from your developers as well for that one. So a few things you can do as an admin and bring some extra benefits to your users. The first one is Inbox. Sorry for not taking the latest snapshots or screenshots. I opened the extension just this week because I wanted to test something out. And it looks completely different. I've been scared and I have no clue how to use it anymore, which is surprising, but it's how it looks like. Historically, the extension was available to anyone. That was the variant without the inbox. And you've been able, and you're still able, and I'm not sure about this region, but in the CE, Salesforce folks push the inbox a lot, and it's basically a must for any customer. So it looks more advanced with the inbox. Over the years, they combine those 2 extensions, so it's just one extension, and based on the license, you will get the proper functionality. In last few releases, some of the things which has been part of the inbox is now available for those without inbox as well. Some of the features you might see here, if I'm not mistaken, the availability is still available only. Is available in without inbox as well if you have the Ultimate Edition, or some weird combination there is. And if you don't know about the availability, that's if you ever got an email from Salesforce sales rep, you have those nice slots there where you can select which date is the right date for you and be done. That's something you can do with Calendly, and you can now do it with Google internally in the Google, but historically this was pretty cool. What I feel is cool and not cool at the same time is that when you enable the inbox license or permission set, it will start tracking the emails differently. So without inbox, it's on the level of the email, and you are able to report whether someone opened it or not. Well, actually, the sender of the email is able to report on that, no one else. The moment you enable inbox, it gets more detail, so you know whether it's opened, whether it's clicked, whether it's whatever. But it's on the email level, and there was no way how to report based on that. So it has downside as well. All you need to do in the setup is just enable that it's connected, enable the inbox if you have inbox, install the extension, which is the same for Google and for Microsoft Exchange as well, and you are good to go. The second thing, which is basically a must for any enterprise client, but a lot of those smaller clients doesn't have it, is a single sign-on. If you enable the single sign-on, you will get an extra button on the login page if you use your domain or my domain. Use your domain, not my domain. It will not help you. And you just click and you will use the same credentials you have for the Google, and you will get logged in. It means one password less for the user, and it also means that the security will be primarily driven from the Google. So the moment you disable them on the Google side, they are not able to log in into Salesforce. There are a few things to keep in mind. The first one, there are two ways how to achieve it. The first one is OpenID connectivity, where you just register the OpenID provider. You prepare the registration handler, which does the mapping between the Google username and the Salesforce user. And you don't need any cooperation from the Google admin. You can do it on your own. Then there is the identity provider way, which use something called SAML. For that, you need cooperation from the Google folks. You will exchange some certificates, and it will start working. The main difference might be that if you use the SAML way, you are able to push the new users when you create them in Google. The moment you can create a record in the Salesforce as well, which might be beneficial that you don't need to do it on both sides. And if you enable the single sign-on, you have a new setting in the permission sets where you can check that the user is single sign-on user. And in the moment you check it, they are not able to use username and password to log into Salesforce to increase the security a bit more. Google Authenticator, anyone from Salesforce here? No, because you. Can you step outside for a while? We all know Salesforce Authenticator, all the MFA things and these kind of things. The challenge we have at the small customers and mainly non-profit is that they don't have enough licenses, so we share. The Salesforce Authenticator is not the best way for that, so that's why we use the Google Authenticator, because we can just type in the numbers ourselves, because the Salesforce Authenticator works just on one device, as it probably should. What's beauty is that you can have both. So on the user record, you can connect the one-time password authenticator, Google Authenticator in this session. You can be last password, one password, whatever. And you can use the Salesforce Authenticator as well, which will give you the other things. Google Analytics on the experience side, you just type in your Google Analytics ID, whatever it's called. It starts tracking what's going on. And there is an application provided from Google or on the Google Analytics side, which will create some reports which you can just use out of the box and basically know what the visitors are doing on the Experience Cloud website. I love this one. It's all the way from Classic. It still works in Lightning. In Lightning, we've got the report charts we can use on the records. But to me, they take a lot of space on the screen. And they might be pretty slow to load as well. So that is something which Google created way back then. They discontinued it in 2012. So it's 11 years after support. But it still works. And you just create a formula field. They do have plenty of different charts. And you put the formula field on the page layout, or maybe dynamic forms these days. And they will show you those different charts. And what I like about the charts as well is that it's being generated based on the URL. So I don't need to have the data behind it. I just need to have the values I need to show on the report. So if we speak about the sales history, I don't really need to have the complete sales history in Salesforce. I can remove it, and I can have just the summary numbers, which I will visualize in the report. That's something we can't really do with the reports. Last one, I never use it. I'm too It's probably the same as with ChatGPT, which I don't use because I don't know, too lazy to use it. So the Lightning object creator can be connected to Google Sheets, and you can create a custom object based on the data you have in Google Sheets, and if I'm correct, immediately import all the data. So it will save you a lot of time. I still prefer to do it manually because then I have more time to expense to my clients, right? Oh, I have more control, obviously. The advanced things. I found 4 of them, and I'm scared by every single one of them. Lightning Creator, Lightning Sync, if you don't use it, you can't because it's out of life, but it has been there. It allowed you to sync contact, event, and task, but Salesforce feels it's not the right way to do things, so they invented Einstein Activity Capture, which doesn't allow you to sync tasks, but whatever. So it's nice. It looks perfect. You just enable it. The user will authenticate themselves, and it kind of works. It will show all the emails in the activity bar. It comes with the, I just missed the name, with the insights. So you can define insights, like what, if some specific text appear in the email, it will mark it as insight with the defined text, and then you can really show or see just the important emails. So that's pretty handy. That works without it as well, if I'm not mistaken. It creates the recommended connections, which is pretty cool as well. So you know who else you might be missing from your Salesforce to have the whole picture. And it comes with this fantastic dashboard. It looks super cool. Now in the latest release, there was some change that you can partially report on it with the standard reports as well. The reason why I hate Einstein Activity Capture is because the emails are not in Salesforce. They are somewhere in Amazon. They will disappear in 6 months' time by default. If you pay for Inbox, you can extend it. But the 6-month time to most of my customers is exactly the moment they are closing the deal, and they are suddenly missing the emails. And for the big clients, the security concerns that the emails are somewhere else is another thing. You can't run the automation on it, and it goes and goes. And one of the important things to me is also that quite often I play the ping pong with the customer. All the emails will be in Salesforce, but only the last one is the important one because it has all the confirmations and everything. So I prefer to do it manually. Again, maybe it's because I don't use Lightning Object Creator and I don't use ChatGPT because I prefer to do the work, but it works for me. Google Drive, and that's something you can set it up as external source of files. It allows you to link a file from Google Drive to Salesforce. It can be either link or it can be copy of the file in Salesforce. If you provide the link, it checks the security of the user, and it works in the search as well. So it will index the file. It was really cool the moment they announced it, but then Google has extended its features, and now they have something called Team Drive or something like that. It's not supported. So if you see, I do have my drive and shared with me and all these things, but I don't have the Team Drive. So there is an idea, obviously. There was some solution which might work. It never worked to me, but yeah. And there are some third-party tools which will solve the problem even better. Google Data Connector, we do have the application for Microsoft Excel as well. I always forget the name. It has X in the name, and it's someone from Australia, and it works wonders. The same exists for Google Drive, so you can just install the extension. You can download data directly into Google Sheet. You can update them and push back. which is exactly what the users want. Quite often, I'm always super scared, give them the ability to update like thousands of records at once, and well, there is the own, so they will help you with the backup, so you don't have to be that scared, but I'm scared. And I do have the developer things. It evolves a lot about the Web2 lead, because the Web2 lead is the integral part of Salesforce implementation. You always want to get the leads from the website, at least quite often to me. If you don't know the UTM, it's again something I believe Google came up with. So you can extend the URL with those parameters, and based on that track where from you've got the people on your website. So it works in the Google Analytics that it will show you all the different channels, campaigns, mediums, whatever. So it has like 2 or 3 steps. First of all, you create the fields in Salesforce. Then you extend the Web2 lead. The IDs I have is the ID of the field. You will get it when you create the Web2 lead form. And then I usually say, okay, let's just pass it to the developers to make it nice and working. So they will extend it with some JavaScript code, which they will definitely write better than I showed here, because every single developer has always a particular approach how to write a code. But basically what it does is that it will copy the values from the URL into the fields, and then it will be stored on the lead level. Potentially, if you create it on the opportunity level as well, it can copy over when you convert the lead. The integration with Google AdWords is basically built on top of that. Google AdWords is a system for the pay-per-click marketing. So it's all those sponsors ads when you search for anything, those like first 2 pages of the ads, that's what is it. Whenever you click, it will add some clicked ID. So again, the same way you track it, you will get it with the Web2 lead on your lead and eventually on your opportunity. And then what Google AdWords can do is that it can automatically or manually get the information from leads and opportunities back. And if your sales cycle is less than 90 days, it can improve the ads based on the results. So you can prioritize the ads for the impact, and then it will take, okay, if the impact means that the opportunity is closed won, it will get all those closed won opportunities in those 90 days window. It will check what ad was at the origin, and it will give extra points to that specific ad. There is also some application on the App Exchange for the Facebook. So there is lead capture from the Facebook form, which again on the Facebook you can run the ads or any sign-ups for events. It connects those 2 applications. You will just map the fields and it will create the lead directly in Salesforce. Google Analytics 360. I don't believe anyone uses it. I never met anyone who uses it. It's like the last price I heard was like 150,000 a month or something like that. Pretty small budget. But to me, the most important part is again linked to the AdWords and to the campaigns, because it will show you the whole funnel and how it helps. So it will give you some extra visibility about all those things. That's some nice music. And you can use it in the Marketing Cloud as well as the start of the journey as the source. You can do some magic inside, some segmenting and these kind of things. Yes, 5 minutes. Thank you. That's just on time. I feel this is like a few releases back. The CRM analytics, X Tableau, X Einstein, X Wave. I'm not sure what it was before. Can now connect to Google BigQuery, which is some clever database on Google with no limits, or probably no limits, and it can. I believe it's 0 time ETL at the moment, so it's live data. My main use case for that, based on the slide, because I never saw anything better, is that in the BigQuery I will get all the data from the social networks. I will somehow transform them and summarize them, and then I will use the CRM analytics to just pull the data from BigQuery, and the CRM analytics dashboards or components can be included on the record Lightning page, and you can show it directly in Salesforce. So you don't really need to push all the data into CRM analytics, where you still have some limits, but you can do the processing in the BigQuery. MuleSoft Composer is the next big thing in the Mule world, but it can be connected with a Google Sheet. So Salesforce on one side, Google Sheet on the other side. So whenever something happens on the Salesforce, I can, with a few clicks, link it to a spreadsheet, map the fields to the columns, and it can create a new line in the Google Sheet. It should be possible to do it the other way around. So it's nice to see this out-of-the-box integrations. Data Cloud, that's another big thing. Again, it's connected with the BigQuery we spoke about. So it's still the 0 ETL data sharing is a pilot from October. I'm not sure whether there wasn't a delay. Go live should be in February. And it will just get the data from BigQuery and use it for the unified profile in Data Cloud. So it looks pretty promising. And what we saw, was it the first session or I don't know, but definitely I saw the Vertex today in the big room. Vertex is some AI offering from Google, which will do some predictions, whatever. It's still mumbo jumbo to me, even I'm certified. So it will pass the data into the Vertex. It will do some prediction based on that and push it back into Data Cloud, which will allow you to visualize it in Salesforce or use it for the activation, push it into the segments in Marketing Cloud and whatever else. I do have 3 takeaways from today. There are plenty of things where Google and Salesforce play together. There are plenty of trailheads, which will explain it to you in more details. I do have some links to the help in the presentation, which I will share, hopefully on the UA. And it doesn't have to be complicated. That's probably the main takeaway. There are super simple things you can start using today, be it the single sign-on, be it the extension into Google Mail, and it can something the users can really start benefiting tomorrow. It's Friday, right? So, all good. Thank you. We have 1 minute. Anyone will take it. Yes?
Do you have any maybe ideas of something that can be done between Google email out of office and Salesforce out of office?
I completely skip all the things which can be developed. I'm not sure whether there is a link, but there's plenty of things which can be developed, so I intentionally skip those. Speaking about Salesforce out of office, I don't have a feeling there is anything which would be partially usable. There was something with the chatter and out of office, and it's like, it didn't make any sense to me the moment I saw it, and there was nothing for the approval process. Like you can specify the substitute. So maybe the approval process is the other exception. but it was about it. So that's one of the things I'm missing on the Salesforce side, that it doesn't really care about the out of office. Especially in the Service Cloud, you need to custom develop it, everything. With the lead assignment, that's the same. So yeah, and I never heard about anything connected to that line. Yes?
Is there any templates for the object creator?
For Office Create?
Object creator sheet.
Yeah.
There is the template with, for example, data type, etc.
The Lightning Object Creator, which can be connected to Google Sheets, means that you will point it to Google Sheet with all your data. It will take the column names as the field name. You will name how the object should be. It's by default the name of the Google Sheet. Based on the data you have in the columns, it will try to guess what's the data type, which you can change, and then it magically will create an object.
Okay, so it's about creating.
It's about creating the object mainly, so you don't need to create the fields manually. That's the main use case for that.
But your problem with this was that you're not able to do all of the setup that is possible if you do it manually, right?
That's why I do it manually.
Okay.
The API name is always the label.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it will be quick, but usually the quick things are not the good things, so yeah. Nice to have extra slide for that, but not something I would recommend. Okay, thank you. Enjoy the day.